Welcome to Next Wave Media. This is Cal, your host, and today we'll be talking about goal setting tips for 2025 and beyond. Stay tuned, we have lots of valuable information here for you, lots of tips on how to set meaningful goals and how to set achievable goals. And we're going to go through some tips and some highlights today to teach you how to achieve your goals by setting good, reasonable and measurable goals. Stick around and thanks for joining us. Remember to drop a like, share and subscribe to this video, and let somebody know that Next Wave Media is on the rise, and be a part of the family. Subscribe and turn on your notifications, setting that to all posts. And that's how you do it. All right, there's a link in the description as to the rest of videos and available services that we have to offer to you. First thing that you need to do is to define clear and specific goals. So avoid making goals that are vague. For example, you'll just say, I want to get rich, or I want to make more money, or I want to get in shape. That's a wish, my friend. That's not a goal. Instead, set a specific target. For example, say, I want to lose 10 pounds within 3 months, or I want to save $5,000 within 6 months. That's a more defined and a more specific goal. If you have a business, make sure that that goal is very specific, indicating what exactly you're trying to do. Put a number on it and put a timeline on it. All right, that is how you set and define clear and specific goals. Number 2, use the SMART framework, and SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So to look at each pieces of the SMART framework, you're going to look at the specific element. It is what exactly you're trying to achieve. Make sure that your goal is clearly specifying what exactly you're trying to achieve. Make sure it's measurable. How will you track your progress? Make sure you can measure it. Make sure you have some kind of tool or metric to measure and track the progress as you achieve this goal. Make sure it's achievable. So make sure it's realistic given your resources, your circumstances, the country that you find yourself in, and all the other factors around. Don't set goals that are impossible for you to even come close to achieving. So use your common sense when you're setting your goals. The next part about being relevant. Does it align with your bigger purpose? The goals that you're setting, making sure that they align with what you're trying to do overall for yourself or for your family or for your business. Make sure as well that the time as parameters are clearly defined. Make sure that you have a time deadline to which you want to achieve these goals or that particular goal. Okay, so make sure you're using the SMART framework, and that means to be specific, to be measurable, to be achievable, to be relevant, and to be time bound. Number 3 tip in goal setting is to break your goal into small steps, or I like to call them actionables. Breaking down your goals means to divide your big goals into manageable milestone pieces, actionable steps. For example, if you want to write a book, you can say, I aim to write 500 words daily. So breaking down that book into 500 words daily will bring you closer to how you can achieve writing that book overall. So putting that into perspective, whatever your goal is, break it down into smaller pieces. If you do a business or you are engaged in an activity that is a part of your overall purpose and your overall mission, plan, and purpose, break those down into smaller portions, into smaller steps. Writing 500 words daily, doing 50 push-ups in the morning, doing a mile of running, 2 miles of running, lifting, doing exactly what you need to do. If it's a personal goal, if it's like a personal goal, if you want to go on 2 dates a month, if you're trying to find a partner, that is a goal that you have to set to figure out how you're going to get to this objective. So you have to break your goals down into smaller pieces, guys, or else they're just going to stay as things on your wish list, I like to call them. The next thing you want to make sure that you do as you set goals for 2025 is make sure you're writing them down. Now, this is very important because studies have shown that with writing goals down, it makes it more likely that you'll achieve them. You see, our brain, it processes written information differently from how it processes things that we just hear or speak about. You know, our writing things down is a good way to actually hold yourself accountable, to hold yourself in check with some of these goals that you're setting. So you write them down and you keep them visible. You can put them in your planner or in a sticky note or in your vision board. You know, I have a vision board myself that I use, and it's an awesome tool. I recommend that you go and you create and craft a vision board of your own, and you use it to keep your goals in track and keep your vision alive, and working towards that vision, you have something to look on. So vision boards are excellent. The sticky notes are good too, but make sure you have your planner. Always have my planner in my possession, making sure that you have things outlined and planned out and that you write them down, okay? Set priorities. Make sure that you are focusing on your 1 to 3 key goals at a time to avoid being overwhelmed. So, you know, a lot of us, we have a lot of big goals, a lot of things that we're trying to get accomplished. So you have to make sure that you prioritize them in order of what's most important and what you need to achieve in this particular time. Making sure that all goals are prioritized based on the urgency and the importance of this goal. All right, so focus on the ones that are most important, the ones that are key, and making sure that you're not biting off more than you can chew, because a lot of times people get discouraged when they feel overwhelmed and they feel burdened down because they have their hats in too many places that they can't measure up or reach to it. So cut back from doing too many things at the same time. Get out of this habit of multitasking and focus on your key goals, the goals that will actually move you closer to your destination, the things that will move you closer to your destination, the action steps that will move you closer to these goals, and prioritize them over everything else and move in that direction to what's going to give you the biggest results. And tip number 6, establish a routine. Very, very important, because consistency is key. Dedicate specific times daily, right, or weekly to work on your goals. Schedule them on a calendar. That's what I like to do personally. I like to make sure that I have my calendar planned out with all my activities that's related to a specific goal that I have in personal life or in business life or in family life. You know, that you're working on these according to how you set them up in your calendar. So from Mondays to Wednesdays, you know, I make sure I'm in the office, I'm doing certain tasks within the office, I'm partaking in certain activities during the office. On a Thursday and a Friday, I'm in the field, or I'm working on a project or something else, or, you know, on a weekend, on a Saturday or a Sunday, it's family time, or you're doing some other activity that will take you to where you need to be, but you have to be very specific. So on your Monday schedule, your Tuesday schedule, your Wednesday schedule, leave a little room for flexibility, because you don't want to be too rigid, but you should have some of your core activities that's going to build you and drive you and take you to your destination. You should have that schedule. So for example, you can say on a Monday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. I'm not going to take any interaction from anything or anyone else, and I'm going to focus on marketing and sales calls, where you're going to make an effort to try to fulfill those sales call obligations. You're going to generate those leads or follow up with those leads, and you engage in that activity consistently during that timeline every day, if that's what you're doing and if that's what you're about. So you have to make sure that you stick to a timeline, you establish a routine. It's very important. I talked about with you in one of our previous videos. You can catch it on our channel. It's called The Power of Habits. This ties into that consistency piece, because when you develop these habits and you schedule these habits that you partake in daily, what ends up happening is you get a compound effect from the benefits of doing these things. So if you dedicate specific times a day to call your customers, customers, call new leads, to engage in development activities, to engage in marketing, to engage in research, to engage in developing new products or services for your company, in engaging in actually working with your people and your staff. So you have to be very intentional and very deliberate about how you set these goals up and how you establish your routine. So I hope this video was valuable. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it to this portion of the video, I've just given you quite a bit of information in a short amount of time, trying to keep these videos not too drawn out for you so that you can digest this information and use it and apply it. And remember guys, if you don't apply this information, you just wasted 10 minutes of your time. And make sure that you didn't do that. Make sure that you're actually going to apply this information by going through the different ways to keep your goals in the right frame of view and that you're capable of achieving them. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching. This is Cal and Next Wave Media. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks. Bye.